because it's been saying that there's been an error creating my live broadcast. I'm gonna just see if anyone comes in first, and then I'll start talking more. Um, because I'm trying to see what's going on. Like, what is going on? I made a video before, and it was just talking about like politics basically, and then it was talking about how politics is being censored, and then I was being censored. So I'm trying to figure out if this is actually gonna work or not. So let's just see if anyone hops into the live. I did turn the chat off because I am doing my hair. That's what I was talking about another one. Um, but this is me. My name is Nia, and I do talks about a lot of things: colorism, being black, racism. I talk about all those things that matter to me, things that have happened to me, and that's why I started YouTube. But I really want to get into more of what's been going on in the US. I haven't really talked about politics because of what happens to people when they do. Um, and I'm gonna see if people chime in or pop in, because if they don't, then I have to restart this, which is unfortunate. But let's get into it. The comments, the chat is off, so if you want to comment, you're gonna have to do it after this and just be respectful. But it's getting scary in the US, and I hope a black girl hears this. I understand what it's like to be afraid, but I don't want people to just like not go outside. Like, there are people who just don't go outside because of what's going on. And I don't want you to turn into that person, but I do want to say, like, it is understandable, and I see what is happening. A lot of people don't want to talk about what's happening and how everyone is beyond divided. You can be divided, you can have your own political opinion, whatever. I care less. But it's more about when you start attacking people and hurting people because of what you believe in, that's where I draw the line. And that's what's been happening. That's what we've been seeing in Minneapolis. And I'm not okay with it. Seeing people lose their lives, any color, I don't care, just because you are watching, just because you're filming, just because you're press, is insane. I'm educating myself on a lot of our rights because I don't think we understand them as much as we think we do. And I find it to be a problem. I find it to be a problem that our rights get violated, and then next thing you know, you end up in a jail cell and you have to be looking over the First Amendment. Like, no, I think as black women, black people, we need to do that more because of what's happening now, but we should have been doing that. So that's something that I'm going to work on this year, because I really need to understand if somebody can carry a weapon and walk around, what am I allowed to do? Like, what am I allowed to do? I'm not for weapons. I'm not going to carry one, but I'm just saying, like, it makes me think, like, we need to know. And what really motivated me, besides me just doing my hair and wanting to have a conversation, is the whole Don Lemon situation and how he's been arrested. I wasn't really familiar with him only until the whole Nicki Minaj thing happened. I know he is accredited, he is a journalist, he's been doing this for a while, but I don't have too much to know about him. So if you're looking for that, that's not in this video. But from what I see, someone being arrested for covering things is insane. Like, it makes no sense. Like, how are we supposed to know anything? How are we supposed to know anything? If people can have an opinion that is conservative, people can cover conservative media, why can't he cover anything as well? And I think that journalism, specifically his type and many others, news journalists, it's too real for people. They don't want people to see what's going on. And you cannot want someone to see something, but they're going to have to. It doesn't matter. So I think we're pushing really far. We're pushing the envelope open way too much with what's going on with Trump's presidency. And it's really scary. Like, everyone is affected. People want to say they're not, but they are. I have people who are so nasty about individuals with college debt and say, you have to pay it. It's your fault. Da, da, da. I have college debt, and you could be nasty to me all you want, but you are never going to make me believe that it is my fault. You will never, and I hope a black girl hears this, you will never make me believe that it is my fault that America took advantage of me at the age of 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 when I didn't know anything about finances. I just wanted to break out. I just wanted to, be the first generation college student. I just wanted to go to school. And also, I just love learning. Like, it is me. Like, I love learning. And if someone said, oh, money is going to stop you from learning, then I would be like, screw them, fuck them, I'm going to continue to learn. It didn't matter how, I was going to continue to learn. I love education. So I have college debt, and I don't think it's fair that I have to pay any of that because what I went to school for, and many of us, wasn't worth what we took loans out for. The people that did go to school for free shouldn't have. I will say many people. There's a few, I will say, that yes, they should have gotten the scholarships and everything, but many people that are in my community that get put on EOP and all these things, yeah, they don't deserve it. The only reason why they got a free ride, they got EOP and all this stuff. You don't even have to be black either to get EOP. It could be anybody. But the reason why they got it was because their parent had 20 kids, because their parent is an addict. It has to be a crazy scenario for you to even get a little bit of money from a college. They're hoping that you don't make it. That is why they're giving you some change. And what aggravates me is I know I didn't get to get EOP, but I know so many people who did, and they just work at Dunkin' Donuts for the rest of their life. They don't want to do nothing. They don't care. They don't want to change themselves or anything. Nothing. But they indeed did get a support system. It's like, as a black person, if you even try to not go that route, which is being on substances and going down the route of, selling yourself and getting arrested, whatever you got, you know what I mean? Like the institution of it all, you know, you try to avoid that and then someone punishes you for it. Just for barely making it, they punish you. So that's another frustrating thing. But I digress. Like I said, you can have your opinion, but what you're not going to do is put people down or assault them. You're not going to do that. You're not, like, that's just insane. This is ridiculous. What I've been seeing in the media that's going on in Minneapolis is scary. It is so scary. And if you know your history, Minneapolis is a new blue, I guess, area because it's in Minnesota, but you know what I mean? They're new to the blue, as in being Democratic. They're new. So, with that being said, it's interesting to see the pushback for them. Because if it was New York, I feel like it would be a different scenario. Like, I know things are still probably happening here, but in New York, I feel like they got to really be swift with it. They got to be swift with it because if you're not, the city's getting burnt down. No offense, like, not trying to be rude, but it will. So, seeing that they're doing that in a town that is new to being liberal, new to accepting it, and maybe not new to being liberal, but being open about it, they're taking advantage. They know that they're new. They know that they don't know. They want to break them. And Minnesota's a big place. So I'm just saying the rest of it all could be literally like so red. But the fact of the matter is that city did their thing and got the votes that they wanted. They did their big one. And that's what New York City does for New York all the time. You think the rest of New York is blue? No, it's so red. It's ingrained in red. Like all over the outskirts of New York where everybody else lives, where like they can actually afford stuff, but don't nobody want to live there because it's crazy. Yeah, so red, so red. And I feel like outside of this blue red thing, like all this stupid talk, you could believe in what you want to believe in, like I said, but seeing people get ripped away from their families is not cute. And also, as a black person, seeing how a lot of people, family, and people I know that went into the military are turning into this conservative, like, asshole doesn't make me happy. And they don't even know it. They don't know that they're doing it because they're scared. They don't know that they're doing it because they soak in media too much. They're soaking in the wrong media. They don't know that there's an echo chamber. They don't know. And then you try to tell them, and it's once again, that's what I'm saying, black people, we need to stop being so prideful. Put that in the garbage. You try to tell them, and they don't want to listen. And Trump knows that. They know that we're not going to listen to each other, so they take advantage. And I'm just done with that. I really am. So right now in my life, I am looking for an apartment in New York, and specifically, I'll say the city in one of the boroughs. And it's hard. It's not easy. A place where blacks lived, and always lived. I can't even afford an apartment for someone with 3 degrees. My job is not the issue. It's not my job. I love it. If anything, a lot of people in my job don't like it because of the area, because of how expensive it is. But besides that, like, yeah, I could say I don't like it either, but New York is my home. I'm not leaving. I don't care. I love New York. I have so many opportunities here. But it's like finding housing for a girl who is black and the culture is here. I am the culture. I am New York. We are New York. We can't even find a place. And it's like you got to either apply for housing or have somebody to live with. And I'm not doing that. If I apply for housing, I'm gonna have to get rid of my job because my job pay good. So for me, with housing too, it's not even my pay that's the issue either. I can pay for it. That's not the issue. It's more so the situation with the brokers and the landlords. Like they're all ass. Like they suck. It's like they don't want no one to live there, or they want a white couple to move in and move out basically because they're not gonna be able to afford the next year's rent. They're not. Housing is getting so bad, and it sucks because I'm 28, and it's like this is my era. It really does. It really does suck. Like this is my era. Also, things happen to me that were unexpected, and that's all right. Life happens. But now I'm in a spot where I'm looking. I've been looking for months, like almost half a year now, and I cannot find a place to stay. Like I'm starting to get aggravated. I'm glad I had my little mini vacation so that I didn't focus on it anymore because it was stressing me out. But even with that said, it's like this is insane. I am a single black woman doing her thing, going to work, paying my own bills, doing my best, and it's like I can't even get a place to live. Like this is frustrating. Like I loved making content when I had an apartment because I just felt safe and peace of mind. So it is hard creating content now. I will say, but I'm still thriving. I'm gonna do it. But it's just like, what is going on? Like, is this gonna get any better? That's all I think. I'm gonna find something. I've been looking. I've been getting closer, but it's just like this is nuts. You can have the money to pay for the apartment, but they kind of want all these crazy things now. You got to make 40 times the rent. You got to show this credit score. You got to show that. What's your credit score? Whatever. I don't mind that. But it's just like 40 times the rent. Are you insane? If I made 40 times the rent, I would not be here. A studio apartment in like Queens is about 2,600. A decent one. A raggedy one might be 2004. It's insane. And a lot of people that live in these apartments, they live with so many people. Or even these homes, like to rent, people rent homes, people who take out mortgages as like these big triple, quadruple families. That's so abnormal. The housing market is so like ass, and it sucks that like this is my era. I will say one thing that I wish I did, and there's nothing I can do about it now. I wish that during the pandemic I found an apartment because that was when the prices were right. That was when the prices made sense. I wish I found an apartment then. But also, then I will be honest, there was still a level of people leaving New York because the jobs weren't hitting. You know what I mean? The jobs weren't hitting, the rent was rising. So I'm like, I understand that too. Like, it wasn't all bad, but it also wasn't good. But now it's just like straight up all bad. It's all bad now. So I just want to say I understand that. That sucks. It's frustrating, but I want to say keep looking. Don't give up. I know there's a lot of YouTubers you see out there that are like, I'm getting evicted, my apartment, this and that. Like, it's so frustrating, but you cannot give up. You can't. You cannot give up. And I do get a little jealous too when I see like, the black girlies make the content, I'm getting evicted and it goes viral and they have so many like subscribers and I'm just like, dang, like why can't that be me? But like it's not about like how many subscribers they have. It's the fact that like I feel when it comes to content, people love to see the extreme, or there's a lot of people who are experiencing that, which is, I love that people can relate and they can come together and build each other up. But it's like everybody wants to see the dramatic, the extreme happen to you. Everybody wants to see you fall apart. That's when they'll pay attention to you, and they might even bring God in and they'll just like be all over your page. But then also you will fall off, like your followers will fall off. I feel like with black girl content, I've seen a lot of content where a black girl, normal black girl just like me, will make a video talking about how life basically sucks and giving the real deal. And I love it. Like, they're giving reality and they sprinkle in hope, which is good, but they're giving reality. And then all of a sudden, it's like everybody tunes in to them talking about how trash life is or living in the projects or whatever. And then out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, eventually everybody falls off and doesn't care about them as soon as they get it together because they got a YouTube check. Luckily, hopefully. You could go viral and get millions of views on like the first video or even 5 videos, and you still could like not be monetized. That's a long story about how that works. I'm very fortunate that I got monetized. That's why I keep making content the way that I do, even if it's not a lot of money. It's the fact that the way I'm doing it got me monetized the way that I wanted to, right? Like it's my own thing. Anyways, so that's one thing I've been dealing with as a black girl is just housing and being a single person. It would be my household. With that being said, I do have a best friend who is looking into it with me, and most likely will help me with it. As in, even if we have to put both our names on it, it's nice to have somebody that's there for you. Because doing it all like completely alone is even scarier. Like I'm alone, but at the end of the day, I do have a best friend. I'm not gonna neglect that. I'm very fortunate to have a really, really good friend, and she's amazing, and a good support system with other friends. I have another best friend. She's also amazing. Now, as far as my job, it's like I have a travel based job, so I'm barely ever home. But when I am home, I want it to be my home. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be my own. I don't want to have to stay with friends all the time. Right now, I do stay with friends here and there, even though, I have a home. But I'm just saying, I stay at a family's home. But it's like, I want my own. Like, I want my own. You just want to come home, throw your shoes off, yell and scream as much as you want. Like, be loud. You know what I mean? You don't want to answer anyone. You just want to do your own thing after a long days of work. So that's what I truly miss. I miss waking up at 3 a.m. and making a YouTube video, not caring. I miss all of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to be somewhere making content and like trying to censor it because somebody will hear it, or not trying to be loud just to be considerate of the people, which you should be. But I'm just saying, that's a thing. Like, isn't that like that's just annoying? That stuff is so like ugh, it irritates my soul. That type of stuff really does irritate my soul. So that's what I mean. Like, you have to think about these things when you don't live alone. That's why my goal is to be alone. And I will say that's why I've taken a backseat to dating. I think that's been a really good step for me in living right now as a single black woman with no kids, good career, but needs to get closer to my job. So I'm trying to move. Um, Not dating has been the best thing. Is it lonely? Yeah, whatever, who cares? But dating doesn't have all your worth. Like, I used to actually feel a little bit that I put my worth in dating and the possibilities of who I was going to be with. But now I have a mindset of just getting an apartment. That is my only goal. That is my only thing. I want to have my apartment to myself. I want to decorate it. I want to do everything to it. I don't care if it's small. I don't care if it's a studio. I could care less. All I care about is the fact that it has a good reputation. It has a good landlord, and landlords are crap. At the end of the day, they want your money, but it has a good reputation, a good landlord, and I prefer not to go through a broker. So that's just been my goal, and I've just changed completely. It's been a good change. I just think that I can't focus on even dating someone right now. Meanwhile, I'm trying to think about where I'm gonna live, like get my own apartment. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't. If you're still dating, that is great. But if you have a goal, try to focus on that a bit more than dating. Even if it's a goal of a job, even if it's a goal of a car, if it's a goal of, I don't know, exercise too, forget dating. Do that. Like, focus on that and life will get so much better. When it comes to dating, the reason I took a back seat um, was not just because of like finding an apartment is my priority, but also I feel like I need to find the love that I will give myself. You know what I mean? Like, I love myself, but I think I need to love myself more so that someone can love me and I can know how much they need to, because I know how much I love myself. You know what I mean? So being like the love that finds you, if that makes sense. You have to know what your love is, what your worth is. So that's been pretty good, and I think that's a great reason to not date anymore. does it make me weary of like, oh shoot, I ain't never gonna date again? Yeah, because like when you get so happy being by yourself, you just forget. But then again, it's like I have good friends that remind me, like, no, if somebody asked you out, like maybe you should try it. Da 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 da. Like I have good friends that remind me of that, but I'm glad that I have good friends. But I also have friends that are not pick me's, so they tell me like this is the best. Now, another thing I want to say that's pretty interesting, as I traveled, and I want to make a video about this too. As I travel, I meet so many women, so many families, all races, all gender, like everything. It's great. And I love that. And I was traveling in Japan and I met a Japanese woman who was from Australia, but she had an Australian husband and they are now in Japan because she wants to give her kids, she has two kids, um, the Japanese lifestyle and then go back to Australia, which is so interesting. And mind you, we're on the train, we're on the bullet train, and I'm just like, I'm a hot mess. I'm trying to get all my stuff, my bags up, this and that. You know, they're Japanese people, so they're very quiet and they're all like just focused in their zone, either sleeping, work, or reading a newspaper or eating. And I'm just like, so glad I made the train because the train car I was in was number two, but I was all the way at 11. So I was running to get to that train car. And I get there, I'm sweating. She sees me and she speaks English. And she's like, "You made it, long travel." And I was like, "Yes." And then I was going to be quiet and sit down. And she starts talking to me. And I was like, "Oh, this is nice." And I was like, "Sorry, I didn't know if we were allowed to talk because, it's very quiet in here." And she was just like, "No, I need to work on my English." I was like, "Go ahead, girl." So we just talking. And she's like a marketer or something. She was on her way to work. And I at a point in the conversation, she starts talking. I talk about my travel, and then she tells me like, "I'm so happy you're doing this now. You have no kids," and I'm like, everyone keeps telling me that. Everyone keeps telling me your life is amazing. You have no kids right now. Please, all races, like Asian, Chinese, Hispanic, like all these women that have children and may or may not have a husband or had a situation, they keep looking at me in my eyes with sincerity and glee, and they're just like, this is amazing, you have no kids, do this, go for it, you're doing that, that's amazing. And I'm like, thank you. And then I think to myself, also because I look younger than I am, I'm 28, I'm thinking to myself like, you know, it is lonely though. Like I'm like, that's I look at what you're doing. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like you did find somebody and you're doing it. And then they literally look me in my eyes and they're just like, they wish they didn't. They tell me that they're like, they wish they waited. And I'm like, oh, like imagine somebody with children, which a lot of people do. Which I'm not saying they don't like their kids. It's just the reality. Um, they're just talking to me like, I wish I didn't have kids at that age, and I wish I did what you're doing. And I'm like, huh, okay. And it's countless interactions, beautiful too, for a woman to be honest with you and look of any race and look at you and be like, you're single and you're traveling by yourself and you're doing these things, you're fucking awesome. Beautiful. Like it made me feel beautiful. I feel like I don't see men saying that to me. So I feel so weird sometimes. Like, I'm like, hello, like, can I get noticed for doing something awesome? Hello. But women that are sincere and in their reality, in their truth, they will legit tell me that this is amazing what you're doing and you don't have any kids. So it's like I get fearful that, you know, I may not be able to have kids at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm getting older, and then I'll talk to them and I'll tell them that, and they're like, girl, no. Even my gynecologist is like, girl, no. Like, you're fine. But it's just like, it is a possibility that can happen to anyone. I know that I'm fertile. Trust to believe that. Wink, wink. I know that. But it's like, the longer and longer I wait, I do get a little fearful. Like, oh, is it gonna be like, am I gonna be 45? Like, but then again, people are having kids at an older age, so I need to think a little bit more positive. So I hope a black girl hears this. Don't get scared. Go to check on your health, and I guess that's where we'll veer into actually. I am anemic, and I was talking to some ladies while I was in Japan. It was black women. They're so sweet and beautiful, And I told them because they were following hair pages, and their niece had locks. And I was like, oh my God, I want to start my lock journey. My hair's been falling out. And basically, the ladies told me, are you, taking your vitamins or whatever? I was like, no, not really. And they were like, you should. And then the first thing that comes out of the other black lady's mouth is, all right, are you low in iron? And I said, oh, yes, absolutely. I'm super, super low in iron. I was like, I'm anemic, like very, very bad. And mind you, I'm 28, and I haven't been taking those iron pills. I took them for a minute, then I stopped. And getting a doctor is very hard when you are constantly moving. Ugh, it is terribly hard to find a doctor when you're always moving, because you're no longer going to be close to where that doctor was or even in the vicinity. And then you have to figure out how to get there on a weekday, most likely, because a lot of places are not open on weekends. And health insurance, that's another big stressor. I have it, but last year it was so hard to get the health insurance. Even when having health insurance, you always have to, like, for me, I have to call them, make sure this is active, make sure this can be like prescribed, like what, like certain things can't be prescribed. Like, health insurance in America is ass. It's so bad. I'm just trying to stay alive. I want to have children. Like, shoot. Like, I'm a black woman with, I'm anemic. Like, I want to have children, but hey, health insurance is getting a little sticky and iffy. So if I can't go to the doctors, how am I supposed to make sure I am well enough to carry a child later in life? I had to take a sip of water. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that I constantly think about. And then juggling a job. I moved from my apartment, which was in upstate New York, and I had the best doctor. I had the best gynecologist. And now I don't have them anymore. Like, I'm still contemplating, like, because I made an appointment to go find a new gynecologist, but I'm still contemplating, like, I'll just go back to her. Like, I get so mad. When you find, as a black woman, finding a doctor is just so hard. It is so hard finding a doctor that meshes well for you. People can recommend things, you can look stuff up online, but I preferably want a doctor of color. I prefer a black doctor. You could be Caribbean, you could be Ethiopian, I don't care, but I prefer a black woman. And if not that, then a woman of color. And usually I lean towards like Hispanic after that, because they usually can understand me. But and usually Caribbean, Hispanic, I'll say that. But those are, like, I'm not gonna say hard to find, but you gotta find them, and then they gotta take your insurance. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing. When I was going through New Paltz University and I started, getting my own medicine and all this other stuff, I started to understand. Wow, they don't want to give me the medicine that's not addictive. They don't want to give me the medicine that won't hurt me. Like, the cheaper health insurances want you to take the cheaper medicine, and those medicines are dangerous. So you start to understand, oh, these medicines that I've always gotten, as a child, because now you're doing it on your own, people don't want you to have it because it won't hurt you, right? It's good. People don't want you to take the good stuff because most likely, one, you won't need them anymore, but then two, it's expensive. The things that work in medicine are expensive. Point blank, period. The things that work, I'm gonna say it again, in medicine are expensive. Now, there's some things that are okay, whatever, but you should just be able to get your medicine for whatever you have. It shouldn't be this difficult. Literally, I've had to have doctors write up notes to my insurance company. Like, it's a whole process. Like, and it's a part of the process. It's not even like, oh, well, they're just writing a note to, go against this company, this and that. No, like, it is a part of the process to write a note against the company. And then the company will give you the authorization for the medicine through, our pharmacies, Dwayne Reed, CVS. It is so bad. And then also with insurance, that stuff don't be working in other states depending on what you have, or it might not work how you want it to in other states, which is pretty dangerous too. So it's like you just wake up thinking like, oh, I hope I don't have to go to the hospital today. Like, that's dead what I be thinking. Like, I'm being serious. It's not a great feeling. And people can say, well, you should have got a better job. You should have did this. You should have did that. It's like, no, it's not about that. My job even offers the insurance, and I didn't take it. Long story, it's just expensive, and I want to get a lot of things paid off first. But it's like, it shouldn't be this difficult. In other countries, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's perfect. The country itself is perfect, but their healthcare system is way better. It is, and I might look into more reasons why besides just taxes and the way things work out there. But it is better. Um, so yeah, as a black woman, I fear that I won't survive, and many other black women that don't come from wealth fear the same thing because of the healthcare system and the way it's set up and the way they're even unaliving our own babies in hospitals, in NICUs. It's scary. So it's like I'm trying to prepare myself to have a child in the future by just eating healthier, doing better things, as stressful as life is. And it's like health insurance already got me messed up. The way it's set up in America got me messed up as if they don't want me to succeed. So that's another stressor. Sorry, I'm eating a banana. I'm trying to, stay strong, braid my hair, but it is hard. Um, Give me a moment, y'all. So yeah, these are things to think about. Like, I'm thinking about taking on a bigger step in my career. Maybe I want to become a pilot. I'm not sure, but maybe I'm thinking about it. And that's a whole nother thing with you need to have really good health for that job. You do. You can't just become a pilot and be, well, no, I've seen some pilots that, but you do need to have good health, and there's health checkups. You need to have insurance so you can have those checkups so you can go to work because you have to have those checkups. But I think the companies do pay for that checkup to be done. But you just need to be the healthiest you can be. I would want a healthy pilot. I'm not trying to have you go uh, we're not trying to have the day to go down. We just not. We trying to stay up. So this is what I mean. Like, there's so much to think about while you're just trying to work or find work. Even like making time to go to the doctors, crazy. Like, jobs won't even let us have time off just to go to the doctors. Like in other countries, they pay you. They give you the day off paid to have a doctor's visit. Isn't that insane? That's great. I'm not saying places are perfect. There's a con everywhere, but I'm just saying that would be nice. That would be so nice. Your girl's hydrating. Whew. But one thing I've done to take a step forward for me is I have taken days off so that I can go to the doctors and make time for myself. Um, that's like this month and the beginning of next month, which is good. But I took time off specifically for myself, and I was able to, which was good. Um, this month, and I went on a mini vacation mainly just for wellness and just to relax. But I did have a good time when I was away in Japan, and I will talk about it. Um, but right now, what I'm seeing is dangerous from everything that's going on in Minneapolis to what's going on in the White House. Nicki Minaj can take a seat. I've heard people say yes, she can believe what she want to believe, but my point is that she is influential, and there are people who are just as crazy, and I don't believe in using your influence to make people crazy. I don't believe in that. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. I don't care how much money it can get Nicki Minaj. I think this is ridiculous. I do believe what everyone is speculating about her wanting to get citizenship, and that's the reason why she is going so hard for MAGA. Um, but I want people to know that if they don't like immigrants, they definitely don't like you. And at the end of the day, views are views and ratings are ratings. They just want to get the views so that they can get the ratings. Um, and that's it. They will use you. So that's something that I want people to realize about Nicki Minaj, that she's just being used. And I hope that a lot of people wake up and don't follow her. But I will say that, yeah, I supported Nicki back then when she was rapping and I loved it. But I'm allowed to say now, after what she's done, I don't like her. After what people expose about her, when I did like her, I can say I don't like her. I'm like, oh wow, you brought this to my attention. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of things we do is very surface level because we don't have time. We don't have time to look into everything. But if someone shows me something that someone did that it's against my morals, I'm allowed to say, yeah, I don't like that. I'm allowed to say, I don't like that. If they don't even redeem themselves and apologize for what they did, still don't like it. That's why, like, for me, I'll give you an example with ASAP Rocky. I love that he's a fashion guy. I think he's very cute with Rihanna. I love their children, look adorable. But I still don't like the fact that he talked about black women in that way, saying that dark skinned girls don't look good with red lipsticks. Meanwhile, Rihanna, and he said that before he was officially with Rihanna. Rihanna has a whole brand that's devoted to dark skinned women, and I find it hard to believe that Rihanna doesn't like dark skinned women. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows something I don't, but I find that hard to believe. You don't create a brand. Like, I know it's about money, but you really don't create a brand like this if you hate dark skinned women. You just can't. You just can't. I don't want to believe it. I really hope she doesn't. If it proves to me that she does dislike dark skinned women, then off with Rihanna. I'm done. But for me, I do struggle definitely with what ASAP said, being immature and being ignorant, to now him being such a good and changed guy. You know what I mean? Like his image. I feel like he did clean up, which is good. I do find that admirable, but I still think about what he said, and I didn't like it because he did not apologize. I don't know any press, I don't see any release where he's actually apologized about that statement. So that does irk me. I do find Rihanna's relationship with him to be very cute. Um, I find a lot of things about it to be very cute, but then I think about that and I'm like, no. But then also, Rihanna does support Glorilla, and Glorilla is as colorist as it can get. And Glorilla kind of looks like Rihanna, so I'm just like, I feel like Rihanna sees herself in Glorilla, to be honest. She sees the bad girl, you know what I mean? That attitude, and that's why she likes her. But I'm like, you gotta really assess. At the end of the day, these celebrities are all for themselves. So that's another thing. So yeah, moving on to basically influences. That's what we're gonna talk about. So I hope a black girl hears this. Influences. I've learned to separate myself from my influence. Not mine, but like people who influence me from what I see in media because I like it, right? I recently was looking at I think her name is Olandria or Landria. I can't say her name correctly. But she's that girl from Love Island. And I supported her after what that girl Huda did to her, being very racist to her online. I supported her and followed her Instagram and liked all her stuff, and I share it, and other my friends share it. You know, she does gorgeous, gorgeous photo shoots. But then I thought to myself, I remember how I felt about Love Island, and how I still feel is that it's the most racist show in the world. Like Love Island is so racist. And what I mean by that is that one, it's super white. But also they pick the black girl that is going to be white for them. And when I say that, I mean the black girl that is super dark skinned but will change her nose, most likely, change her hair. Yes, they do. They wear white people wigs, right? Y'all know what I mean by that. They wear wigs on the show. And also is going to have a Valley Girl accent, most likely, and also is going to have a boob job. They might not have a butt job, but they will have a boob job. So I've noticed with the black girls on Love Island is that they have breast augmentation surgery just like the white women do to fit into that show. And I feel like Netflix in general is just very racist. And I feel like we need to work on our influences because we kind of take whatever black person we can get. You know what I mean? When it comes to diversity, we take whatever black person that they throw at us because we're just like, finally, we got somebody. And I realized, like, I don't even support this show and I'm supporting her. But you have to understand, question those people that actually went on the show to begin with. Nobody who really cares about you, right, the viewer, is going to go on a show like Love Island or even Pop the Balloon. These women graduate from college and then they want to be a model and they go on Love Island. Love Island is not about finding love. Like, I wish people would do that by now, but nobody wants to pay attention to that. Like, and so are the housewife shows, you know, like it's just about drama. But at the end of the day, it's more so with specifically with these love shows, the way that they depict the black woman with a breast job is so weird to me. Like, I always found that weird. I was like, why do we have to have breast jobs to be in the same room as white people? Like, what's going on? I've always found Love Island to be very, very problematic, if that makes sense. Um, but anyway, so I supported her and I shared her stuff. I loved all the fashion. And I thought to myself, I was like, you know, I'm looking at her Instagram and I'm like, does this make me feel good? Like, how many appearances am I going to see that she does? How many shows am I going to see that she's in? How many awards am I going to see that she wins? What does that do for me? Like, I really had to think about it. I was like, does she look like you? And not that she's black. It's more about, you know, She is wearing a lot of makeup. She is basically branding. That's her job, is to brand. She's branding all these designers that are white designers. Even if they're not, they mainly hang around white people, and they have her in these dresses that show off her boob job and her straight hair. You have yet to see her natural hair. And at first, once again, fashion is fashion. I loved all her stuff, and then I just kept thinking to myself, like, Nia, you got to support yourself, and what do you want to do? Would this person ever even, look your way? Now, I think she's nice, probably. She seems like a nice person, but you still have to understand that this person is willing to sacrifice a section of blackness to get there. And I'm not saying she shouldn't get anywhere. I'm just saying you really need to take a second to look, do you have to support this person so hard? Or even at all? You can know about their story and commend whatever happened. I'm like, we all experience racism. But it's like now she has a mass following of all of us black girls supporting her. And it's like, what is she doing for us? Absolutely nothing. What is she doing? What is this girl from Love Island doing for anybody? And we know her relationship is fake. It's cute. It's a cute little propaganda act. It's, well, not propaganda. I would say it's a cute little ad. Like, she know what she doing. Her relationship ain't real. It's just a little act, and that's fine. That's why I'm like, this isn't even made. I want to make a video about this, but everybody's gonna be like, you're attacking her. Like, no, I'm not. I don't want to make it seem like attacking her. It's more about I had to do some thinking to myself of who am I supporting? You know what I mean? Same thing with everything else. Like I said with the ASAP Rocky thing. Like, who are you supporting? Like, do you really matter to them? Do you? No, not really. And it's like, I don't think you shouldn't support them at all if that's what you want to do, but just be cautious of how much you support influencers. Because I thought about how I wear my natural hair and how I'm trying to love it and go against what these people have to say. And, you know how it feels literally, like when you look at all the Real Housewives, none of them wear their natural hair besides Monique and what's her name, Eva. Monique, Eva, and there was another girl, but I forgot. And sometimes Cynthia. But once again, all of them have the model in them though. So it's just so interesting. But they're the only ones that wear their natural hair out of like maybe 50 black women on the franchise, the network. Like, it's crazy. Like, it really is. Sometimes when I look at them, because I do love the show. Like, I've always been a fan of that show, and the personalities and the scenarios, they do relate to many women. But it's like you see what they have to do and the wig that they have to put on. I'm just like, this is tiring. Can't none of y'all want to wear your natural hair ever? Like, why is it that when we feel beautiful, we have to have these wigs on? That's why I'm literally doing my hair right now. And it does make me feel insecure. Like, I am trying to wear my natural hair, and it just doesn't look the way that I want it to yet. Also, being anemic, I did have some hair loss, so it's like I had to cut my hair. So it is frustrating, like as a black girl, having to look at all these women on TV and all these ads and magazines that I would love to be on too. I think I deserve it. I'm pretty. All these other girls, we pretty too, right? But it's like, you know, can we afford getting a weave every single day so that we can fit the quota? We could fit the black person that they wanted. You know what I mean? Like, you can be black, but you can't be too black. I guess that I should write that down. You can be black, but you can't be too black. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Let me. All right, I had to write that down. So yeah, you could be black, but you can't be too black. Is basically what I'm trying to say when it comes to Love Island and their cast. I don't watch the show. Once again, my friend tried to get me to watch it. I was like, I was like, this is too fake for me. Like, I know a lot of shows, all of this reality stuff is acted, but this is too acted. Like, this is childish. I was like, what are we doing? But it just triggered me to see a lot of black women that embodied a white woman, which was getting a boob job, wearing white people hair on their head, the bust down, and a lot of them, well, not a lot. I could say just the ones that I saw, they did get nose jobs. I just think the breast job is a white American thing, and I don't I don't see myself in these women. I don't see them as a representation of the black woman watching this. Even if I could afford a boob job, I don't think I would get one because it's just not me. I do get insecure because my boobs are saggy, like they're just natural. Um, and when I'm not wearing a bra, like child, it is not too cute to me. So it's like I get insecure about that. And then you got all these campaign ads of these black girls from Love Island with these huge breast jobs, and they're so skinny. Like their breast jobs literally look like it's about to fall off, like Kenya Moore. Like it's a big, big implant. And I'm like, if Alondra, whatever her name is, sorry, I feel bad I'm saying her name wrong. If she didn't get a boob job, would she have gotten that opportunity? Hmm, something to think about. Like, would they have given her the opportunity? And is that right? Is that right? Like, it sucks. It really sucks. And I'm like, that really messes up a lot of people's self esteem. A lot of black women's self esteem. It messes mine's up. But then we're like, we don't want to seem like a hater, so we're like, no, we just gotta support them. Like, support them, but to a certain extent. I've learned you can support people, but to a certain extent, you can't really support them as much as you think you should, because do they support you? So that's been one thing I've been working on, is looking into who is influencing me. I've been trying to change my freaking page, like the way it's set up and who I see, but it is so hard. Instagram is so screwed with ads and all this crap. Like you have to see all this bull crap, and basically you're seeing a lot of things on Instagram that other people like. Now, yes, sometimes it's funny when you see things that Instagram has recommended because another friend has seen it and liked it, or a couple of your friends have seen it and liked it. So now you all see it and like it. You know what I mean? But I don't want to live in an echo chamber just because they know who my friends are and think they know my laughability, they know my humor, when in reality they don't. It's just that we're all friends, and yeah, maybe we might laugh at this, but should we? Do I have to see this? So I just think about that. So I guess lessening up on Instagram and watching who I follow, because I'll follow somebody because of a post, just like YouTube, right? We'll follow somebody because of one thing that they said, it resonated with us, but then it's like, they're saying all these other things and doing all these other things that I don't support whatsoever. And it's not even like, oh, just a little bit, but a lot. And I could say that too for some YouTubers I do follow. I like them, and I don't have to like everything they say. But there are certain things that do trigger me, and I'm like, why'd they have to say that? So once again, nobody's perfect. Know that as a black woman, like nobody's perfect, but acknowledge when someone that you like or influences you, could be an influencer, whatever, is doing something wrong. Just know it. Like that's all I'm saying. A lot of people don't want to know it. A lot of people don't want to see it. Same thing with Cardi B. I can't stand that woman. I think she evil, nasty. I wish she would. Oh, wish she would fall over. She evil. She evil. But colorism, racism, that works in her favor in America, and she's doing her big one with it. It's not right. Same thing with Natalie Nunn. Same thing with Scotty. It's not right, but they're doing their big one with it. They can have that, and I'll have this. Like, I'll be in my own lane. I'll do my own thing. I'll look at what I want to look at, but I don't have to force myself to support people just because the majority likes it, just because people have given up. A lot of women have given up too. Black women have given up, and I think that's why they support people that are like, that say they have all this money, whatever. They say that, but we don't really know. Like, once again, you really don't know. People could act like they have all the money in the world, and you find out that they don't. They don't. Like, think about it. If someone is spending money on Hermes bags and all these other things, you really think they have a lot of money? Like, I love that scene in Real Housewives of Potomac, because it's been getting good. Y'all know I don't like Angel, so I don't really care what other people have to say. I don't like Angel at all, but it's been getting good. And basically, Stacy, while they were all talking about, oh, I bought this for this much, because everyone be calling Real Housewives of Potomac broke, they decided to talk about everything they bought when they were in Aspen. And Stacy was like, somebody made fun of her for buying a keychain. And she said in her confessional, these women, and she was funny about it. I love it when they were talking. She was like, "Yep, I bought a keychain." And she said these women don't know how to stay rich. They buy too much. They do too much. I buy people a keychain when I go places, and what? And that's correct. Like Stacy is keeping her money in her pocket. She don't gotta show nobody nothing. Stacy said she was broke. It'd be the people that say that really aren't. I'm being so serious. I'm being so serious. The people that say that the way she did, they're really not. They're really not. They're just really smart about their money, and I respect that from Stacey. Will I say her being with what's his name for a storyline is crazy? That alleged man who was gay, absolutely. Her cooking looks terrible. She's a little crazy and quirky, but that makes the show. But then again, you could even say with Stacey and Kenya Moore, they're both from Detroit, beautiful black women, but teeth is done, hair is did in a way that white people would like. They both got breast jobs. They didn't get butt jobs. Well, Kenya did because she's from Atlanta, but you know, they both got breast jobs. So what does that say? It's like, can you make it anywhere in media, in the industry? Even Jessie Woo, like that's what I said. Like her going against Cardi and stuff like that. Yeah, I took Jessie Woo's side, but I have said before in the past that when it comes to Jessie Woo, I didn't like what she had to say about black women in makeup, or just no, it was just women in makeup. And everyone wants to say, "Oh, she said terrible things about black women in the past." I could care less. Whatever. I didn't listen to it. All I know is that she talked about makeup and men and women and said really nasty things, and I didn't like it. And I was like looking at her old photos, and I was like, girl, I would say that you're beautiful, but compared to the person you are now, that's the astonishing part. That's what's ugly. That is the difference, is the ugly part. The fact that you did all that and you're gonna talk about makeup, girls that don't wear makeup. You can call a man cheap all you want, but don't talk about the girlies that don't wear makeup, because I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. It's just that irked me. So this is what I mean by like making it in media without doing all of that does feel hard because of what we see. But then again, it could just be what I'm seeing. Like, there's plenty of YouTubers, there's plenty of people out there that don't do this. I'm pretty sure. So I just gotta switch it up and look for it. If y'all want to recommend stuff in the comments afterwards or on one of my posts, that would be great. But yeah, like it is scary for a black woman to see all of this body augmentation in media of us. Like our hair is already one thing. Like once again, I said creativity is great. Love the bust downs of the creativity, the braids. I love how we can switch it up. I love the culture we have with weave. But there's also toxicness to the culture where we can't take it off because we think we're ugly. I know how that feels. Like, I want to make another video about that because that is such a psychological thing of a black girl that I think not no one, a lot of races can't understand. They just put us down for it. Like, I don't understand why they don't like their hair. Like, like, child, you got people like Cardi B out here calling black women bald headed. Just rude and nasty, just rude and nasty. And in black culture and in African culture, there's also a thing of black women having short hair, depending on what tribe they're in and the way that it's done. So that's one thing, boom. And then two, our hair is different than the rest of the world. We have the kinkiest hair. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Like leave us alone. And even Aboriginal people, black people everywhere, like it's very frustrating to hear these hurtful comments about our hair when our hair has gone through so much, especially mine. A black woman's hair can go through so much. Like, besides just criticism and culture, even our health. Like, my hair was falling out. I thought it was just stress. And then I talked to a lady recently, and I still have to go to the doctor, but I talked to a lady recently, and she talked about, oh, your iron levels are really low. And I was like, yeah, I'm anemic. How did you know that? And she was like, that's what happened to me when my hair started falling out. And she was like, "You too young for that." Both of the black women I told, they were like, "You are too young to be having hair falling out like that." And I was like, "I know." I was like, "I had to cut it. I'm doing different styles now. It's getting better, less like what's it called? When things fall out. Sorry, less like foliage, I guess, or like flyaways and stuff like that. Anyways, less hair is falling out. It still happens, but a little bit less. Every single time I do my hair is a little bit less, and I get very happy. I'm doing healthy hairstyles. They may not be aesthetically cute, in my opinion, because of what I've been taught is cute, but these are healthier hairstyles for my hair. They are. I'm literally doing mini braids right now. So it's like I'm anemic and my hair started to fall out, and I went through the big chop 10 years ago, like more than 10 years, maybe. Like when I first started community college, I went through the big chop. My hair was permed. My hair. So it's like Black women, we went through so much, right? When you think about it, my hair was permed at one point. I didn't want to wear the kid hairstyle, so I started my mom started perming my hair. I asked her to do that. She didn't want to. I asked her, you know, and she just wanted to see me happy. So, you don't want to have your daughter feeling like she's ugly. So she just did it. She was like, okay, whatever, but you should maybe relax on it. Like she never was pushing me to do it. But culturally, it's still a thing that are like, how did I know what a perm was and how it worked for me and what it would do? Because I was so young. Like, we know this from the beginning. We get bullied in school by like black boys, especially if you live in like the suburbs. Oh, you're getting bullied for sure, unfortunately. And like, I'd say one thing that can help is a parent that is adverse in it and comfortable with telling you don't listen to them, da 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 da, or even a child being comfortable telling the parent what's going on, that too. Like, we need to make spaces for this in black culture. So what I'm trying to say is, a black woman's hair, you go through the most, and most likely because of society, you have probably been through a lot. Your hair has been through a lot. It's been through a lot since a young age. And like I said, when I hear people say black girls are bald, your hair doesn't grow, that is so hurtful because I'm literally anemic and my hair fell out. You can be any race and this can happen to you. My hair fell out. So that is hurtful. It doesn't feel good when you have things that you can't even control happening to you, and you have people saying, "Look, this is true. Look, yeah, you have no hair. This is true." Blah blah blah. It's like, ugh, I hate people like that. It's so nasty. It's so nasty. As a black woman, you go through so much with your hair. You wear weaves because you're trying to mature. Then all of a sudden, that could be breaking your hair. You're trying to figure out how to do your hair. I still don't know how to cornrow my hair all the way to the back. Yes, there are YouTube tutorials, but I'm telling you, there are just certain people, in my opinion, like me, that just cannot do it or just really don't like it. I don't like it. Like, I feel like I can't do it. I really got to sit down for a whole day and play in my head just to cornrow straight to the back. If I could do that, I would be wearing my hair like that every single day. But yeah, like, we could wear natural hairstyles and then we end up putting a little fake puff on the back because we don't have enough hair, right? We don't have the volume. But that natural style we put it in is very safe. It's just that when people look at it, they're going to make fun of us and call our hair short. Meanwhile, our hair is not short. Our hair is long. It just doesn't look like the next person's hair. And that's all that it is. And I had to understand that and still have to understand that. It is a psychological thing for the black girl brain to go through. And I will make a video on that. I don't care how many videos I've made before. I'm going to keep making videos on that because it's sad, but it's interesting. The psychology behind how that happened to us. And a lot of people that today don't want to see it. They don't want to see what happened. They don't want to see how it hurts. They don't want to see what it did because it's painful. It's very painful. You got people out here calling us bald. So what we do, we're going to straighten our hair to show them, look, I got some inches. We're going to straighten it right up. And don't get me started with church and hair. That's another thing that already taught us to be so terrible to our own hair. And I wish people would understand that. I really do. I wish people would understand that. Like, I think about Mary Cosby and her hair, and I will never forget when she wore her hair natural for 2 seconds. Her hair did look a hot mess, not because it was natural, but because it was dead. Mary Cosby's hair was dead. I don't know what was going on. And she worships dating white people for some reason, which is interesting because your son is a hot mess. And her husband, the grandpa, he's black. He's just light skinned, but he's black. But she calls him white. It's so confusing. So confusing. And then Robert, the Robert Jr., whatever he is, her son is in and out of jail because of some white girl. So I'm like, you worship white people so much in Salt Lake City, but then you say they don't understand your church. And also your head is looking at a mess under those wigs. Like, she loves wearing white people hair. Like, she just loves it, which, like I said, wear your style if you want. But that one time we saw her natural hair, it was a mess and we never saw it again. It wasn't a mess because she was natural. Once again, it was a mess because it was dead. So imagine you just trying to wear your natural hair and people are talking about it because it's dead, not because your natural hair is ugly. Mary Cosby's natural hair is not ugly. It's just her hair is dead. That's why I do have a little bit of an issue with straight natural girlies. Like I have some straight natural girlies that I follow and I like them because they're so sweet, and some straight natural girlies that I know and I like them because they're so sweet, but I can't be real with them and be like, girl, your hair is dead. You shut up with this straight natural. Like your hair is dead. It is. Your hair texture didn't just change from 4C to 3A. Like, no, it didn't just change magically. Yes, you can straighten your hair and it can be healthy. But I'm telling you right now, your hair outside of its natural form at an extreme like length, such as straightening it in that way is detrimental. It is. So that's all related to Black girl health. And this is another thing I want to say too, because we're reaching the hour mark, because I'm doing my hair, so we pushing through. So I'm very happy if you're here. I'm sorry I don't have the chat on, but please like, comment, and subscribe when this is done. Like now if you want to. But share the video, and I hope you're listening to this when you're at work, you're in the car. Yes, when you're at work, because sometimes we gotta put the headphones in and just go. Like we just gotta listen to something else. Um, but yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say that for everyone who is still tuned in and back into the convo. So yeah, as I do my hair right now, that's something that I was thinking about. Like that's that I talked to my friend about that, and she was just like, "F Cardi B, like she's who is that?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." But I was like, people do say that, and it's so hurtful. Like you don't know what someone's hair has been through. You don't know. You don't know if they have alopecia. You don't know. Like, you don't know. That's all I have to say is you don't know. So please be like a little bit kinder when you were talking about a black girl's hair. That's all I have to say. Be kind. It doesn't look like what you see, right? Like, you see white people, it looks different. Okay. But be kinder about their hair. That's why when Nicki Minaj was talking about hair, I was like, girl, if you don't shut up. And also a lot of these women are they have parents of not only black descendants, you know what I mean? Their hair texture can be looser, their hair texture can be different. Does that mean it's better? No, but it's going to be different. So they can say that they're black, but they're going to say that they have better hair, which they have, and they're going to show all types of length, which they have, saying that, look at this, I'm so healthy, I'm so this. And it's like, in reality, your hair texture has been different the whole time, and your hair texture has never been discriminated against. So you didn't have to damage it over years. You didn't have to. Maybe you did because you wanted to, but you didn't have to damage it for years. You tried to do our styles, yes, and it can work on you, yes, but you didn't have to damage your hair for years while, a black girl had to, and our hair is now, apparently, it shows to people as short. You didn't have to do all that. So, yeah, your hair's going to look longer. Yeah, your hair's going to be longer. Yeah, sure, whatever. But that doesn't mean you are more feminine or somebody with long hair is more feminine than you. And I had to learn that. I'm still learning that. Like, literally, I feel like we see so many TikToks and, Pinterest of 4C long hair. And we're like, whoa, I can't believe they did that. Da, da, da. Like, that's so cool. You don't know their genes, one. Two, you don't know their race. Like, you don't know if they have another a hair texture in there that they're not revealing. They're just showing you this when it's blown out. You don't know how long they've been doing this. Even if they do, you don't know what they're eating. You don't know what they're going through. You could be going through something different, and that's why your hair don't look like that. I remember seeing 4C hair girlies all over Pinterest, and I got upset because I was like, why does everybody have hair that is about, 22 inches plus in presence? Like, how come I'm not seeing my length? I'm not seeing hairstyles for my length. Like, it's frustrating. I'm looking for inspiration and I'm not even seeing me. Or when you look up 4C hair or you look up braiding and it's not even your hair texture. Don't that get to you? I'm like, that's not even my hair texture. Like, that girl is white. Like, what do you mean? What's going on here? Like, hello? Like, that's not my hair texture. That's a lie. So we have to deal with seeing that as well. Like, they don't want to show short, and I put that in quotations, short 4C hair. It's very frustrating, and that's why I really like tell people, like, your hair is not short. I'm braiding my hair right now, And it once you braid your hair, it does have a flat appearance, right? It has the fine look, as in the fine texture, like it looks longer than it is because it's stretched out. So I'm braiding my hair right now, and I'm like, my hair is basically like a bob. It's a good length. It's a good length, but when my hair is not braided, my hair is or twisted, my hair literally looks like it's less than 2 inches. So, and I say that with a laugh because it's like people will call your hair short when it's really not. It's not. So please stop doing that. If you know someone doing that, tell them to stop. Don't listen to them. I also want to say too, there was an experience I had where I was very texturous in school and a bully. And I talked to this girl that I literally bullied with another girl. And I'll say her name. Her name was Lyric. She was an awful person. And I was like, how old was I? I could have been like, was I like 14? I don't know. I was in ninth grade. And I was hanging out with the wrong people. Her name was Lyric, and she was hood, ghetto, ain't parents ain't taking care of her or nothing, but she was always the class clown. And I was hanging out with her in class, didn't want to do work, and we were bullying this girl, and she had natural 4C hair, and her curls were curling. It was gorgeous, right? I'm an adult now, so I'm saying this. It was gorgeous, and we would talk about her hair, talk about her looks, and it wasn't even me. It was more so like I would just laugh with Lyric. Her name was Lyric too. I'll say her name. I would laugh with her about it, and that wasn't right. It was wrong. And I remember, just wanting to fit in, and that's why I did it. But then now, like, I'm an adult and I deal with the same thing she dealt with. And I contacted this girl, the girl that I bullied. I think, well, she followed me. I was like, you like me? We're cool. And basically, as soon as she followed me, I actually said something. I didn't just let it be like weird. Like, I said something to her, and I said, I'm so sorry for what I did when I was a kid to you, because that was so terrible. Like, I was following behind the wrong people, and I didn't even realize why I was saying it. I didn't even realize how much I hated my own hair. I was like, you wore your natural hair and no one else did in the school, in the suburbs. You're dark skinned. Like, I should have really, looked up to you more and not fed in with the ghetto, hood rat girlies that wanted to wear wigs and stuff like that. And she's the girl, I believe, I'm not gonna say her name, but she's gorgeous. And she's actually Dominican and Panamanian. And she's dark skinned. I didn't even know that about her until recently, until she told me. And we basically reconnected over the years, and I always apologize to her, and she's just like, "Girl, what do you apologize?" She's so cool. It's so sad. She's like, "What are you apologizing for? You were a kid." And I was like, "No, it was annoying what I did. Like, that was so childish. I was doing that with someone just because I didn't realize how much I hated my hair. I didn't realize, like, I didn't like myself." And it wasn't like directly like, "Oh, I hate my hair, I'm gonna bully her." No, I didn't realize I was making fun of myself. Like, I was making fun of myself. I didn't even realize that because some girl that I was just following around in school was just making her a joke because everyone else thought it was funny. Everyone else thought it would be funny when it wasn't. So, like, I didn't even know that I was a bully. I was texturous. So this is what I mean by, like, people can change, people can learn, and what causes change is just learning. Learn some shit. Pick up a book. Like, I can't stand black people that they can't learn. Like, pick up a book. Like, it's okay to change. So it's like I'm saying that and exposing that because, and I'll probably make a video about it, but I'm exposing that because I want people to know that I myself did something that was texturous. I did something that was texturous and honestly should relate to colorist. Like, she was a dark skinned Panamanian Dominican girl. I didn't even know that at the time. She probably just, and also too, like, a thing as an educator, I'm a teacher, you know, there's a thing where a lot of Caribbean students don't even want to reveal that they're Caribbean or where they're from or even African. Like, they don't want to say it. They don't want people to know. They don't want people to hear the accent. No, nothing. It's assimilating. It's trying to fit in and not be noticed. And I've had to ask students, I'm like, where are you from? And they're like, how did you know? And I'm like, because I can hear the accent. And then they think I'm like from there because my hair is natural. I'm like, no, I'm just different, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, people think I'm not even African American just because I wear my natural hair. That's a whole nother conversation, the road to go down, but it's a conversation. It's important. Um, Sorry, I digress. Let's keep this on topic. So yeah, I had a bad view and I was doing something as a kid that was wrong, and it was about my hair. So I learned, I understand, I go through the bullying today and before, and understand it, and not even bullying directly, like it's when I hear comments that people talk about with women, black women in their hair. I'm just like, why y'all always do that? Say you bald headed, this and that. Like, why do y'all do that? It be like Latin women too, it get me so tight. I'm like, why do y'all do that? It's not nice. You want to sit up here and date black men, well, the child you're gonna have the hair that I have. And then there's Latin women that I've known or have met, and they don't even know how to do their kids' hair because they have a black kid. And I talk to them like I talk to them, the parent, but also I've talked to people who were the child of situations like that and told me that they lost their identity. They couldn't figure it out. They could not figure it out. So that's a whole other conversation, but that's just something to think about as a black woman. Like, you can change your perspective. You can change your mind. You are allowed to grow. I literally did not like my hair. I had an issue. Like, even still now, like I'm literally doing it and I'm like, ooh, getting frustrated because mini braids are not easy and I can't wear beads because of my job. So I think I'm gonna have to figure out some curling technique of some type so that the ends don't look this crazy in my opinion. But once again, it only looks crazy because it doesn't look white. Like it doesn't look like their hair. But it is cute. My hair is cute. It's just I've been trying new things for years and I am going the more natural route. I don't think I'm going to lock my hair up specifically after finding out that my anemia, like being anemic, is most likely why my hair is falling out. I don't think locking it up is going to help, but I do think naturally my hair would grow so much faster in locks. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. When I touch my hair, it just falls out. But knowing that another additive to just bothering and manipulating your hair, like touching it is what I mean, is that I am anemic. So I need to get, my iron. My iron needs to be good. I need to get those levels up because I can tell they're out of whack. And also, I used to be on birth control, so I feel like that too makes me feel so out of whack. But we need to work on that. Your girl needs to work on her iron. So we won't be locking up my hair. I do love locks. I love the manicured look and the unmanicured look. But for now, I've just been winging it and doing me and being very frilly and natural. I'm braiding my hair right now, and it is all types of parts. I'm not doing the normal like parting it because I feel like one, that is too much work. But then two, also like I just think it should be natural. It should just be free flowing. Like take little parts out because you don't want to just part the same all the time because then you will get lines in your head and stuff and your hair gonna be growing weird. But it is good to have some sections. I'm not gonna lie, or if you want to split down the middle, things like that. When I twist my hair, I don't really do a split down the middle because I just like to have my bangs be, the main story, but that is what it is. So I will be doing a middle part though with this style. So wish me luck. There'll be a lot of ponytails and buns with this. I'll tell you that because I'm not really feeling it in the way that my hair just like when it's dry, like as in it's not like wet and stuff like that or sprayed, which I will be spraying it with water, but when it's dry, it just be going in all types of directions. Like my hair has energy, but I want to work on having more moisture and also understanding that this is just my hair. Like there's nothing I can do about it. It is beautiful. I literally look at other people with 4C hair and I'm like, dang, your 4C hair got so many coils, this and that. And I'll have like a coil. I'll brush my hair and then I'll have a coil like in the middle of a bunch of dry hair. Like it just looks like dry, kinky hair. And then I'll see that one coil just spring out and I'm like, why can't the whole thing be coily? Why can't the whole thing be coily? I'm like, what is going on, y'all? Like, come on. But anyways, that's the hair talk. Let's get off of that and go back into politics and people getting arrested. Yeah, people getting arrested for their viewpoints is crazy. I feel like when it comes to being conservative, there is more extreme viewpoints and things that they do, such as even hate speech, and nothing happens, and that's scary because that manipulates people into what they think they should do or how they should talk because they're afraid. Truly, it really does. Like even when it comes to me, like I said, I had a career in this airline that was really, really racist in Utah. And even now, the fact that I can't even tell y'all, but y'all know if you know the place, you know where. Um, it's like the fact of the matter is, sorry, y'all, my stuff is dropping everywhere. I talked about stuff on my channel, and it was about advocating for Black people, Black women, and mental health and things, and they didn't like that. The people at the job wanted me out. They legit wanted me out just because I talked about Black women's health. Like, just imagine a world. Once again, I tell people all the time on my channel, if you want to talk about white women's health, go ahead. Make a whole thing. I could care less. Go ahead. Make a whole thing about it. Go. I won't watch it, but please be my guest. It's your right. But it's like when someone tries to do it about Black people, all of a sudden it can be in the sticky area of your career, of your job. Like being Black HR, being a Black teacher, all of that. Like, well, as a teacher, I would say in a public setting, in a public school, I have more protection than being in a private company because private companies just care about what people think. Remember what I told you about reviews and ratings? Like, it's not about, oh, let's protect the children from seeing this content. No, no, it's about the reviews and the ratings. Will this blah 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 still support me and give me the money I need if I got this person out here being pro Black? And if the answer is no, then you're fired. Legit, you're fired. Like, and I remember there was somebody in my comments, amazing. I love them. I think their name is Kiki. They always talk about my content and stuff. They're really sweet. But anyways, they said how they think I shouldn't speak it into existence, like it's not going to happen to me, but it's more so I was at a job where they did that and it screwed my head up. I was like, what is going on? Should I not talk about these things? Did I do something wrong? And I didn't do nothing wrong. My friend literally had to tell me that and snap me out of it. But this is what they do to make you feel like it's wrong to never talk about it again. There's literally people like Cardi B sues all these people. Why? First of all, she say she's so hood, she's so ghetto, she could da da da, she could hurt everybody. Why are you suing people? Especially Black people. That's the only people she sue. Like, I'm telling you, the Bronx is so racist. I don't mess with the Bronx. I really don't. I really hope I don't have to move there. I don't mess with the Bronx at all. Queens and Brooklyn, we cool. The Bronx is a no-no. The Bronx and Harlem is just there's issues there. There's love there. There's people that are amazing, but there's a lot of issue there that they don't tell you about the Latin culture. Even Brooklyn too, with the Jewish culture there, there's issues as well that combat with the community and the original founding of Brooklyn. But anyways, so it's like I get very, very frustrated when it's like they show you if you hate yourself as a Black person, you're cool. If you don't care about, like they make it seem like, oh, you're talking about Black rights and stuff. Be careful. Like, isn't that sad? Why are we being careful? Why are we're talking about a marginalized group of people and trying to help them? What's so wrong with that? Like all of a sudden that's a bad thing. Like you're an evil person. And talking about gay rights, talking about anything, all of a sudden you're an evil person. Like, what's going on? What's going on here? This is getting too much. Like, people's political viewpoints are starting to really conflate with people's livelihoods, being arrested, being fired. I remember when I was what made me start this channel, like I said, was Newport University not hearing me as a Black girl. When school club did something wrong to me, they kicked me out just because they didn't like me, but made stuff up about me, so that I could get kicked out of this club just because I wasn't with the shenanigans they were doing. They were using the school's money to buy like alcohol and all this stuff. Like, it was nasty work. And they kicked me out of the club. And I went to community college where I was in a club, and everything in the community college strived for equity, inclusion, and a safe space. So even if people had issues, somehow it got worked out where it was fair for all people and everyone was allowed to join. When it came to four-year university, I quickly learned that it's cliquey, and you could be you pay an activities fee, and you could most likely not even be a part of it just because people don't like you, and that wasn't okay with me. And I brought that issue up, and they didn't care because what they said, well, if we shut it down or do things the right way, then we're going to have so many parents complain. They legit said that to me at Newport University, the dean. I was and one of the deans, not the actual only dean. It was a white lady in the office at the top of the hill, and she was listening to, you know, those YouTube videos with the music and the bamboo and stuff like that to relax. Like she just looked like she did not care about her job. Like she goes to work and she does nothing. That's the goal. She just writes pieces of papers. Like absolutely nothing, just worthless. There's people that were assaulted, essayed, and everything on the campus, or at fraternity frat houses and stuff, which are off the campus, which is interesting. I think it's an interesting legal move that this university did because then they don't have to take accountability for what happens to people at these frat parties. But it was disgusting. What I saw, what I heard at frat parties, and all I went to one and never again. I saw a girl come out of out of a room after moaning and all that because I was waiting for the bathroom. I saw a girl come. It was a Hispanic girl came out of the room, and this is Newport's upstate. Come out of the room, and one girl asked, said, "Oh, did you use protection?" And she was like, "No," and she laughed about it. It was a Hispanic girl. She laughed about it. It looked like she could have been on something. It was so shameful. It was nasty. You know, who even knows if she was in her right mind to be doing anything? It was nasty. It was so nasty. And that university did not care. So that's what it feels like. They didn't care because if a parent complains like you kicked my son out of soccer, he's supposed to be going to the league. We're taking him out of here and we're taking our money and we're taking our endowment. Like, that's what they do. It's money. They hold money over you for conservative let me say this right, conservatism. I guess that makes sense. Conservatism, whatever, y'all know what I'm saying. um or just doing the wrong thing, corruption. So yeah, it's something that I had to learn. I think that there's gonna be people that say you should have known this. Like, no, you should not know this. You should have a nice innocent mind. You should just focus on being safe, being humble. You should not have to focus on how corrupt people work. And I would say that's how it became too when it came to dating. I had to realize how corrupt, a lot of black men were that, went into the military too, specifically. Like, I had to learn that they just not right in the head. Like, something wrong with them. Some of them get out okay, but it's a lot that they go through that can mess up their head. And that's how I feel about a lot of black men when it came to dating white people. When it came to dating anything that wasn't black. When it came to basically saying that black women are not enough and we're ugly and we're terrible. That's not true. It's just the fact that someone is trying to cope with the fact that society is putting them down, is being racist, being discriminatory, and what they're gonna do is be weak and they're gonna fold and they're gonna be just as racist and discriminatory. That's what Cardi B does. They're gonna fold. When you realize they're being so racist, you're like, shoot, I might as well join them. I need to make money. Racism makes money. And I'm gonna be honest with you, not it doesn't make enough. Not all, and it doesn't make enough. Because if it did, a lot of people wouldn't be doing it anymore, right? Exactly. So whichever route you choose, conservative or liberal, just know that you will never make enough money, especially doing something you hate. I don't even think you'll be alive anymore. Like, you will just work yourself to the point of death. Like, it's not great. So that's what I don't want for black women. So I hope a black woman hears this. I don't care what you believe in. Just don't pick something to believe in that hurts yourself, and you're going to neglect that it hurts yourself just because you're scared. Right now, I am scared, right? I'm scared of what's going on in Minneapolis. Like, I could literally get pulled over and they could be like, you're not from America, this and that. It don't even matter what your skin color look like anymore. People are literally getting unalived for watching or filming what ICE is doing. That's not okay. That is a scary thing to, like, what if there's children out there, unless people being unalived is terrible, but what if there's just children walking? And then another thing people want to say is like, oh, and they catch a stray, basically. That's what I'm saying. What if they're just like, oh, well, black on black crime is this and that. Like, shut up. Please shut up. Y'all always come at the defense of that. Like, please be quiet. Y'all are so boring. Like, y'all have nothing else to do. For real? Like, y'all have nothing else to do. You don't even know why the reason there is crime in those areas. You think they want to do that? You think they wake up and want to do that? People need money. It's not right. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying people need money and they're doing desperate things besides just selling their bodies, which is being, a sex worker. So that's all I have to say. And I'm like, there's so many crimes that are committed in these rural areas. You just may not know. You may not know. That's all. You may not know, but it's happening. Trust and believe it is happening. Ooh, child, I'm getting closer to getting done, but I'm gonna wrap up this conversation because your girl is getting a little tired, and I am getting closer to being done with my hair. So I'm gonna wrap this up. But please stay tuned. I want to have more serious conversations like this, and I'm happy that y'all are here. Sorry I could not have the chat on, but I do appreciate everyone who was here, and remember to share the video. Bye, y'all.